You are standing on a wooden observation deck. The air is cold. You grip a pair of high-powered coin-operated binoculars. You press your eyes against the cold rubber lenses. You look past the barbed wire. You look past the landmines. Just 1.2 miles away, across the world's most hostile border, you see it. It looks like a communist paradise. Modern, multi-story apartments. Freshly painted walls. Pristine, empty streets. It is beautiful. But as you look closer, a chill runs down your spine. You adjust the focus. You wait for a car to drive by. Nothing. You wait to see a child playing. No one. You look for laundry hanging on a balcony. Empty. The silence is absolute. You realize you are looking at a city with no citizens. But then, you notice something even more unsettling. You've just entered the psychological war zone. In the 1950s, the rules of this border were simple. Prove your system is superior. To do this, North Korea built a masterpiece. They called it Kijong-dong, the Peace Village. The reward for building it was clear. Show the capitalist South that communism brings wealth, modern housing, and luxury. But luxury has a hidden cost. Building a real city requires real people. And real people are unpredictable. They defect, they complain, they starve. So the planners made a deadly calculation. They didn't build a city for people, they built a stage. You zoom in on a third-floor window. You expect to see a living room. Instead, your eyes play tricks on you. There is no glass in the window. The window frame is painted directly onto the concrete. It is a drawing of a window. The buildings are completely hollow. They are concrete shells with nothing inside. But if the buildings are empty, why do they look so alive from a distance? That's when you see the bus arrive. Every morning at the exact same time, the bus pulls into Kijong-dong. The rules of the performance must be followed. A small group of women steps off the bus. They carry brooms. The reward is a clean city. The cost is their freedom. For 2 hours, they sweep the empty streets. They wash the pristine sidewalks. They prune the perfect hedges. They do not look left. They do not look right. Then, they get back on the bus. They drive away. The city is dead silent once more. You think the show is over for the day. You are wrong. As night falls, the true magic trick begins. The sun dips below the mountains. The demilitarized zone becomes pitch black. Then, at exactly 6 p.m., a light flickers on. It is on the top floor of the tallest building. 30 minutes later, another light turns on. This time on the bottom floor of a different building. It looks like families are coming home. It looks like they are cooking dinner. But you have the binoculars. You look through the glassless windows. There are no interior walls. There are no furniture pieces. There are no people. A single, naked light bulb hangs from the ceiling of a massive, empty concrete hall. The lights are controlled by a central timer. It is a giant, automated light show designed for an audience of soldiers. But visual tricks are easy to ignore. To truly control the mind, you must control the ears. And that is when the quiet city becomes deafening. You hear a low hum. The ground vibrates. Suddenly, Kijong-dong begins to scream. The rules of the border have changed. The visual illusion is no longer enough. North Korea mounts massive, multi-ton speakers to the roofs. They blast military marches. They blast speeches praising the supreme leader. They blast invitations for South Korean soldiers to defect to the paradise in the north. The sound is relentless. It plays for 20 hours a day. It is so loud. The soldiers on the South Korean side cannot sleep. Their teeth vibrate. Their ears bleed. But South Korea does not retreat. They launch a counterstrike. They install their own giant speakers. They blast K-pop. They blast actual world news. They blast the weather forecast. The valley becomes a screaming matches of frequencies. The noise is so intense, the birds stop nesting in the trees. It is a war of decibels. But eventually, the speakers fail. The human brain cannot survive the constant pressure. The static becomes unbearable. Both sides finally turn off the sound. But the silence does not bring peace. It brings the ultimate escalation. In the 1980s, South Korea decides to mark its territory. In their border village, they build a 321-foot flagpole. They hoist a massive South Korean flag. It is a declaration of presence. North Korea takes this as a personal insult. The rules are rewritten. Size is everything. They immediately begin construction in Kijong-dong. They don't just want to match the South, they want to dwarf them. They build a flagpole that is 525 feet tall. At the time, it is the tallest flagpole in the world. The reward is total dominance of the skyline. The cost is engineering madness. The flag itself weighs nearly 600 pounds. It is so heavy that when it rains, it cannot fly. It just hangs like a wet concrete slab. If the wind blows too hard, the massive pole sways violently. It threatens to snap and crush the empty buildings below. Specialized military crews must run out in storms to lower it before it collapses the very illusion they built. You realize the flagpole is just like the city. It is too heavy to sustain. It is too big to be real. And yet, it stands. You lower your binoculars. You rub your tired eyes. Your hands are cold. You look across the green fields of the demilitarized zone one last time. You realize Kijong-dong was never meant to be lived in. It was built as a mirror designed to show you what they wanted you to believe. But like any mirror, if you look too closely, you don't see the image, you see the glass. And behind that glass, there is only emptiness. You walk away from the observation deck. The pristine blue-roofed towers of the fake city fade into the gray fog of the border. The illusion remains, waiting for the next observer to look through the glass.